The first tree farm we're going to talk about here is the Treloggen family tree farm, and they refer to that as the Treloggen Ranch. You're going to see some parallels between the two award winners this year. And the first one that I want to point out, these are both multi-generation family operations. And they're both into like fourth generation or so. We'll hear more about that. So a little history here. The chronology and some data on this place. So 210 acres total, about 160 of that is forest land. The balance is cattle pasture and hay land, and it's located out about 3.5 miles east of Centralia in the Little Hannaford area. So in 1938, Staci's great-grandparents, George and Martha Lowen, purchased this property. In 1987, Tom Treloggen, Staci's father, purchased the farm from Uncle Jerry, and he was the son of George and Martha. So over the time period, 1989 to 2023, they've had multiple harvests, plantings, PCTs, cut-to-length thinnings, and the latest project is an afforestation that we'll take a look at. So in 2015, they had an opportunity to buy out another adjacent parcel which has a log cabin on it, and that's been their the family's summer hangout ever since. And as we said, the latest purchase there, 20 acres next door. And so we will take a look here. These are the Lowens, and I imagine this photograph dates back into the 40s or so. So this is where it all started. Okay, so I'll give you an idea of location. So I-5 there on the left, Centralia, and then straight out to the east about 3 miles in the Little Hannaford area is where we're going. So this is a stands map of the tree farm. So up in the upper left corner there, stand 1, that's probably the oldest stand on the property. That was their first harvest. This is up there around 40 years old now. And over on the right side there, that's pasture land out in the valley bottom. And the various stands from the various harvests over the years are noted on the map and their size. And I want to point out a special little feature. And again, this is a parallel between these two tree farms this year. They both have historic old railroad grades across them. And of course, the grades are abandoned today and part of the tree farm. But this is the Agnew rail line that you see here. He called that the Eastern Railroad. So the Eastern Railroad fed all of the lumber, all of the timber from the Agnew lands into Sam Agnew's Eastern sawmill. Not only that, but Agnew was also a coal mine operator. And this railroad carried all the coal from the Agnew coal mines at Copiah out to the rail yard in Centralia. So just a little historic side note. So here we are. The committee's out, and Staci's about ready to give us a tour. And this is the log cabin in the background. And note those nice 80, 90-year-old second growth western red cedars. There's a lot of these around the cabin and a few more scattered out in the tree farm. So on the photo on the left there, that's Tom Treloggen and Staci. And on the right, Staci's sons Derek and Nick out chopping a little brush on the place. These photos are son Nick on the left and our sister Dana on the right, and they're out brush hogging and enjoying a nice summer day there. So now we're going to move on to the forestry. So in 2022, Treloggen has engaged Tree Management Plus to come out and do cut-to-length thinning on anything that was in that 20 to 40-year-old age bracket. And so all of those stands in that age bracket got this cut-to-length thinning. And here's another nice photo of that work. This is pretty representative of what you see out there. Okay, now this is another shot looking at thin stand, but what I wanted to point out is this property has cedar on it naturally, and during the thinnings, both the cut-to-length thinnings and in the pre-commercial thinnings, they have thinned such that they left the native cedar that has seeded in by itself, and you see a couple examples right there in the center of the photo. Nice cedars coming up amongst Douglas fir. Okay, now we're in the cut-to-length thinning. This is the forwarder bringing logs into the landing in 2022. And here again, the 2022 thinning. Come back here, please. So this is Staci with the harvester rather. This is Tree Management Plus machine here. Okay, so now we said that any of the younger stands that were old enough, they received a pre-commercial thinning down to about 300 stems the acre. And this is stand number 3. The oldest stand on the property. This is 21 acres of natural regeneration, and it varies in both species and age. So a mixed species, mixed ages, but all naturally regenerated, and ages are probably in the 50 to 90 year range. So here we are out checking out the newest harvest on the place. And this is what they call stand number 6. We're right up on the ridge line there with little Hanford Valley on one side and kind of Salzer Creek drainage on the other side. So this area is cedar that we're in. So a large portion of this was planted into cedar. I don't know the exact acreage. Rick is kind of blocking our view of a big tall Vexar tube there on one of these cedars. And here we're going to get up closer to these cedars, and I'd like you to take a look at that cedar tree that Ken is hugging on there. You notice the tip of that leader is at eye level with Ken, and so is this other tree in the foreground. Remember, these are only 2-year-old cedar plantings. And these are, of course, some of the better ones in there. But this stand, they're all doing well, and they were started in big, tall, 40-inch Vexar tubes, and they're all coming up out of those tubes, and all looking really good. It's going to be a really nice cedar stand. Okay, this is on the same ridge, looking out to the east, and of course Mount Rainier in the distance, and that's mostly Weyerhaeuser land out there beyond the ridge, Bonneville power line. Okay, so back to the stands map so we can orient you. The last stand we're going to look at is down there at the bottom left side, stand 8. This is the most recent purchase that was added by Staci since she got involved in it, and we're going to take one last look at that one. Okay, you notice there's an area there that says interplant 8.5 acres. So that area was harvested before they bought the place and had been replanted, but the survival was a little sparse and hit and miss. So they hired a contractor, went in, replanted it again, and it's starting to look shape up, and reforested that little 1.5 acre area there, and then the mature stand through the middle, that's a riparian zone. The big challenge is the piece in the middle. As any of you know that have ever tried to afforest, as the forester speak goes, in other words, plant a former pasture back into timberland. This is a bit challenging, and that's in the bottom land there, and it's a bit wet. They chose to plant this in cedar, And here we are out taking a look at that. And this is a challenge, and they've taken it on. They hired a contractor to go in and scarf each spot, each planting location, and put cedar in there. And we're taking a look at the survival rate there, and the survival rate is quite good. I have no doubt that 20 years from now we'll get to visit that and be walking in a nice cedar forest. So with that, Staci is here to represent the Treloggen family, so if you'd come forward, please.